What up? What's good, people? What is up? What is they went from the fourth level of hell and sent us down to the seventh level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties. And these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. Mike.
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's Meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really hello, casting wardrobe? Y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these fans on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not going to see it? We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, baby, you ate on this first date, you giving up the cooch on the first date, okay? Well, you gonna run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's our new theme song. That is the new song. Listen, somebody need to put a beat to that. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's what y'all got going on.
Called out Sandcastle. Sand, bitch. Ow. Oh my God, it was so funny, girl. Ooh, baby, listen, let me tell you something. This shit started to turn into the precursor for some gay porn. That's what I thought it was. Because Big T is getting all, the voice starting to go deeper and get a little more wet and moist and sentimental and all this shit. And it was real gay at this point. Like, I thought the bitches was gonna stop. I thought Lil Bird was gonna turn Big T around and do him like he did Uncle Cliff and do the grease it up with City Lou and ran right in there. It's not a coincidence that Big T started off the conversation by trying to find out if Lil Murder was fucking Mercedes, which he found out he's not. It's also not a coincidence that he would start talking about prison. Why? Because the bitches was probably fucking in prison. Uncle Clifford, you better go get your man. Big T got plans for that. What he had on looked like something Big Bird vomited up or something like that. Like, I did not like it. That Big Bird couture he was going for, it did not work. Like the pastor of a gay mega church on Easter Sunday. Okay, it was way too much sequins. He had on way too much makeup. Baby, his face looked like Yala Van Zap's neckline. Okay, just way too much makeup clumped in everywhere on his face. Get it together, sweetheart. And you're a big girl, so that gives you a whole lot of canvas. So that was a whole lot of makeup, honey. Yeah. Rico looked like he was auditioning to be one of the three kings, or he was auditioning to be the main character on Jesus Christ Superstar. Girl, Wayne, did you have on a blue thong or a blue G-string or something? If you did, I want to see it. Get me up in my DMs. I do want to see if you have a blue thong or a blue, Joshua or something like that. I'd love to see it too. Anyway, but I liked it with the turtleneck. Now, Troy.
Hello. We are here. I almost didn't make it, y'all. I almost didn't make it. Listen. I heard Jesus Christ Superstar. I was way on the other side of the house. I had to run. I almost fell to get here. Nevertheless, we're here. How y'all doing today? Y'all all right? Y'all all right? Mm-hmm. 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 Child, we got some things to talk about. Let me post in the members only chat that I'm live. But y'all, Wednesday going all right? Child, I had a late meeting for work. Let me post on the Bluesky that we are live, and then we'll get started. Shoot. All right, almost done. Oh boy. All right. Mm-hmm. Y'all, we only halfway through the week. And I'm tired. I am tired. We are only halfway through the week. And I am tired. Okay. Tired and fatigue. I am tired. I am fatigue. Okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna need y'all to help me out today. I need y'all to give me some energy today. While you're waiting for me, go ahead and hit the like button, share the video out, all on your social media, all of that good stuff. Let the people know we here. We're gonna have a good time like always. I'm drinking on my Perrier, the blackberry Perrier. But yeah, we're gonna have a good time like always. But your boy is tired. I really need a Red Bull. Mm-hmm. I really do. Nevertheless, we are here. All right, let me say hey to y'all. Hey, Candace, you are first today. What's going on, my love? DPG is here. Hey, boo. We got Tracy W in the building. Tawana is here. Quake is here. I did not see that. I did not see anything about that crash. DPG. Let me hold on. We need to do a little bit of breaking news. We will. Let me see. I don't even see nothing on. I don't see nothing about it. Mm. Hey, Miss Shorty B. What's going on? Hey, Cajun, how are you? Cajun, I might be home in Miami this weekend. I have a funeral I'm supposed to go to. So I might be home in Miami this weekend. I'll see. Hey, Nico. What's going on? How are you, my love? Hey, Demetria. Hey, Pinky Tiki. Hey, Miss Kiki. Hey, Catherine Powell. Y'all, don't worry. I'm eating this popsicle. It's gonna help me get my energy up. Hopefully, I need a rush of energy. Cause Lord knows. Child. Hey, Terrence, what's good, bro? Charlie White, what's up? Hey, Janae, what's up, Universal Goddess? How you doing today? You all right, my love? You good over there? Crazy homebody girl, you all right today? You is all right? Harold, Harold, Harold. Hey, 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 hey. Harold say, y'all don't see me. I have my own personal greeting. Nobody gets a greeting like me. Okay, Harold. Cha. Y'all know we have the Harold Hive in the chat. We have the Harold Hive. Hashtag Harold Hive or Harold Harem. Because he got all the people loving them some Harold. It's either Harold Hive or Harold Harem. Hey, Brittany Janae, how you doing? Samira, you good over there? You good today? Tacos and tequila. What's going on, my love? Now look at who we have here. I guess you decided to be on time today, huh, Paul? Trade left on time today, so you made it to class on time. Well, I'm just glad you're on time. Child. Girl. Child, Janae, I almost bust my ass, honey. Because I got hardwood floors and I got on these socks and I ran and slid about 3 feet and had to gain my balance. Child. Hey, Xavier. Child. I'm trying not to spike out today, Demetria. I'm trying not to spike out. But who the hell knows? The day is young. The day is young. We never know. Child. You say you got to watch the live with a bit of a delay sitting in the office building? Oh, okay. Never know what we might say. You might be right. Child. Hey, Lizgo. I know it's late over there. Lizgo, it's 10 o'clock at night over there, honey. Child. I know it's late at night over there and down to the UK. But you over there, you all right over there across the pond, Lizgo? We glad to have you here. I know you be having to go to bed, honey. Go ahead and go to bed. Watch a little bit and then go ahead and go to bed and watch the replay tomorrow. We'll be here. Child. Hey, Sharice, what's going on? My wonderful Cali girl. They wouldn't vote for a woman, but they did for a bitch. This has more mood swings. I just can't. I just can't. Hey, Precious Jewel, what's going on, beautiful? Hey, Shay. Shay, did you get the link to the members only chat? Did you get that link? Child. Child. I'm glad you caught me live too, Nico. We have a good time over here. Nico, I'm not the show. Let me just say, I'm never the show. The show is over here down to the chat. The chat is the show. I am just the side show, okay? The chat, they are the show. I'm just here, moderating. That's it. That's all. Hey, Lemon Kush Pepper, how you doing, boo? All right. See what that say? Taylor Swift, what? Swallow? Does that say Taylor Swift swallows? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Child. You did 1,521 jumps. Oh, well, they say jumping rope is real healthy. Catherine Powell, let me go buy me a jump rope and start getting out there and jumping rope. Cha. Listen, if Tracy W, I have had more deaths in the past 2 months than I have had in the last year and a half. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. I don't know how much more I could take. But I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to this funeral this weekend. I'll see. Harold's Harold top child. And look at Harold. Now look at him. Now look at him. Child. You sent the link about the crash to my DM? Hold on. Let's see here. What we got going on here? So the breaking news is Virginia State Police is investigating a small plane crash that occurred this afternoon in the 11,000 block of Scarlet Oak Road in Spotsylvania County. The initial call came in at approximately 3:08 p.m. The plane, a Beechcraft had taken off from Leesburg en route to Hampton Roads. The pilot reported an oil pressure issue and attempted to make an emergency landing in a field. The 2 people on board the plane were taken to Mary Washington Hospital with minor injuries. The FAA and NTSB have been notified. Yeah, so I'm looking at the pictures. It's a small plane, looks like one of those small Cessna type planes. And it's in the middle of the road. Mm-hmm. So that's the update on that. Hey, Montrez, what's good, bruh? What is up? Jason, what's good, bruh? What is up? How are you? Just saying, how you doing today? Quake said, "Oh, we're spiking today. Oh, we're definitely spiking today." That's what Quake said. Ciao. I did read what you said about jumping rope, Catherine Powell. I said I need to buy me a jump rope and get out there with you. Ciao. Mm-hmm. Anyway, go ahead and put a shout note in the chat. Let's go ahead and get this party started. Y'all want this party started, right? Y'all want this party started quickly, right? So, since we're ready to get started, let me bring out my boy. Ladies and gentlemen, non-binary gender conforming members of our audience, I bring to you the great Larry Myers to help us usher in our Sugar Spike segment.
Oh, God. You see, this is the part that I like.
Major sugar spike.
So loved the world. I want to fight. That he gave his only begotten son.
Major sugar spike.
And who shall ever believe?
Major sugar spike.
They shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Jesus! I wish somebody help me.
Jesus. Thank you, Larry. So, oh God, Jesus Lord. Where's my girl at? Because this is just where we are. This is where we are, dear God. Just oh Jesus Lord. I just don't have the energy. Oh, oh my God, I can't do it. It's just too much. It's just too much. It's just too much. Okay. Jeez. So let me take my girl down. So jeez, Lord. Here we are. Here the fuck we are. Hey, Uncle Jay, what's going on? Listen, Harold, we all done had to let out a scream lately, girl. So, jeez, so yesterday, and shout out to Cams, we had a wonderful episode of Red, Blue, and Black last night. If you missed Red, Blue, and Black last night, we had a great episode of Red, Blue, and Black. Go back, watch the replay, right? So this morning, we were still reeling with the aftermath of the fact that your president, Donald John Trump, thought it not robbery enough yesterday to assess China 104% tariff. China then retaliates and adds another 50% to the 34% tariffs that they had. And so now we have a whole trade war going on. So 84% tariffs on US goods going into China, 104% tariffs on to Chinese goods coming into the United States. So your president then says, "Oh, we're going to up the ante. So we'll do a 90-day pause on I'm sorry, before the 90-day pause, the EU, the European Union, said that they were putting tariffs on $23 billion with a B worth of US goods. And then somebody walked into the Oval Office and told that young man, yeah, we probably don't need to probably do this. Is not going to end well. And so Donald John, instead of heeding the advice of people who are credentialed, people who have experience and history with these matters, instead of going to these people and listening to them in the first place, he didn't listen to them. And now, when they told him this shit is going to tank the economy, he then says, "Well, I'm going to do that." Remember yesterday, or what was that? The day before yesterday, I believe it was, or yesterday. It was either Monday or Tuesday. I think it was Monday. Somebody said CNBC wrongly reported that there was a 90-day pause, that Trump was going to put a 90-day pause on the tariffs. And then the Trump administration, via that whore, Caroline Levitt, came out and said, "Oh, no, we never said any such thing. That's a rumor. Somebody put that out there. That's not us." And then now today, they're doing the exact same thing that we saw that CNBC posted. Except for they're not putting 90-day tariffs. They're not pausing the 90-day tariffs for China because they have an axe to grind with China. So, hey, Ravine. Hey, Spicy Original. Now, China is about that life, okay? Y'all fucking with China. You are over here playing trade war games with China. China is here for all of the smoke. They don't give a damn. This is not going to end well, sir. Now, the markets were bottoms up this morning. And then when Donald John decided that he was going to do a 90-day pause, which we had heard about 2 days ago, and then he denied and said that wasn't the case. And now he said, well, yeah, I'm going to do the 90-day pause anyway. So now markets skyrocketed and had, according to some experts, their best day in over 16 years after he paused the tariffs. So now, because we have this whole roller coaster things going on, and now they're going to purport to having the best day on the markets in 16 years. Now the news cycle is going to be, because of me, I told you I was right. I told you all that I was the best man for the economy, and we're going to and nobody else can save the economy but me. You should have listened to me to begin with. That's what's going to be said. Now, I'm not an economist. I don't profess to be one. That's probably the one vertical I know least about. But I would venture to guess, with the little knowledge that I have on economics, stock market, Wall Street, I would venture to guess, with this uh, uh, skyrocketing Dow Jones, NASDAQ, S&P 500, People are going to let it go up, and guess what they're going to do? Pull their money out because we can't trust you people. We can't. He's on news outlets talking about countries are lining up to kiss his ass. Countries are lining up to kiss his ass and, in order to get the tariffs off. This is such a mess. He's such a petulant child. Okay, such a child, such a petulant child. Y'all, but they voted for the economy. This is just a shit show. A complete and utter shit show. I mean, it's a shit show. This is a complete and utter shit show. But I'm telling you, he is going to be on every news outlet imaginable talking about it's all because of him. Oh my God, the Wall Street had its best day in 16 years. All because of him. Nobody else could do it but him. He is the best president ever in the history of our country with regard to our economy and the stock market. And his sycophants and acolytes and those that that belong to the church of Donald Trump and the Latter-day Saints. They're going to use this as their rallying cry to say, yeah, don't doubt him. Don't ever doubt our president. He knows what he's doing. Only he can save America. All the while driving us into the ground. Into the ground. I called my financial advisor this earlier today. I told him we may need to discuss get now. Now, if I call him in the morning and there's a rise in the stocks, I'm telling him pull my shit out now. Just go pull my shit out now because I can't. My heart can't take all of this up and down. I'm not gonna have you crash my 401k. No, if we get this momentary reprieve, because let's be clear, this is a momentary reprieve in the stock market, just a momentary reprieve. Get my shit out now. Get it out before it tanks again. Nope, I can't do it. Not less than Saints. Hey, lovely 31 blueprint. Like I just can't take it. Uh-uh. Nope. Nope. Not gonna do it. In more sugar spiky news. Now, my wonderful pupils, what have I been telling y'all for the longest time? We will be at war before we get to the election cycle of 2028. And I have a scary notion that that war is going to be with China, right? Y'all playing with fire. Playing with China, you playing with fire. These people are about that life. I just saw a video come across my screen a couple hours ago where uh um they're testing fighter jets in China that don't have tails on them and all types of new technology that they're testing out in China, all to the chagrin of our military that is looking at it and like, oh God, they got those. We don't have those, and now we're gonna have to try to play catch up. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. So yeah, Let's get to this. Hey, Karen, just go ahead and sneak it in, Karen. We here. So here's the other way we're messing with China. Let me read this to you. The Chinese government is accusing the U.S. of blackmail after U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth declared Beijing a threat to the Panama Canal, asserting that Washington, along with Panama, will take back the waterway from Chinese influence. The Chinese Foreign Ministry on Wednesday said Hegseth had maliciously attacked China with his comments and was sabotaging China Panama cooperation. Quote, everyone knows who wants to control the Panama Canal. The U.S. side should take a look in the mirror to see who really threatens the sovereignty, security, and development of other countries. End of quote. And that is from uh, uh, China's foreign minister, Lin Jian. Uh, he also accused the U.S. of quote spreading rumors and sowing discord. In the quote, calling on Washington to stop deliberately linking China to the canal issue to find excuses for the U.S.'s desire to control the Panama Canal. And a day earlier, the Chinese embassy in Panama accused the U.S. of using blackmail to further its own interests and said Washington did not have a right to interfere with whom Panama carries out business. Asked about Beijing's accusations on Wednesday, Pete Hegseth replied, quote, I don't know anything about blackmail, but I do know about strength, peace through strength and deterrence, end of quote. Hegseth, during a Tuesday ribbon cutting ceremony for a new U.S. financed dock on the Panama Canal, said the U.S., quote, will not allow communist China or any other country to threaten the canal's operation or integrity, end of quote. He highlighted the growing security relationship between Washington and Panama City to counter Beijing, warning that China companies, quote, continue to control critical infrastructure, end of quote, in the canal, giving Beijing the potential to conduct surveillance activities across the country. The comments follow assertions from President Trump that China effectively controls the trade routes via two major ports on either side of the shipping lane. In his message, Pete Hegseth alluded to those ports, which are controlled by CK Hutchison, a private company in Hong Kong, now in the process of selling its controlling stake in the U.S. investment firm BlackRock Inc. Quote, this makes Panama and U.S. less secure, less prosperous, and less sovereign. And as President Donald Trump has pointed out, that situation is not acceptable, end of quote. And that's what Pete Hegseth said of the potential of Chinese spying. He also said the U.S. was, quote, standing up to malign Chinese influence, end of quote. Here's what we have going on. If you're not familiar with what's going on the Panama Canal, they have several ports on both going in both directions, right? The U.S. has a problem because CK Hutchison owns ports on both sides, the side going east and the side going west. The US also has ports on both sides. Okay? The US wants complete control of the Western Hemisphere, and they want to be able to stop China from ever coming into the Western Hemisphere via the Panama Canal. And they feel like they can do that by controlling the Panama Canal and putting out this rhetoric that China is controlling the Panama Canal because they have these two ports on both sides of entry, but the U.S. does as well. So they're alleging that China is influencing Panama, and Panama is too influenced by China, and and the U.S. needs to regain control back. The U.S. basically wants control of everything on the Western Hemisphere. Every problem that we have going on the Western Hemisphere has been caused by the US. Now, China ain't here for it. China's argument is Panama is a sovereign ass country. If they want to do business with us, they can. Y'all don't have the right to stop them from doing business with us. The United States is saying their real problem is they feel like it's too close for comfort, thinking that China is going to use this port of entry to spy on us. But let's be clear. We learned a few years back, China has been spying on us. Remember the balloons that were in the air maybe 2 years ago, 2023, that was over Arizona and stuff, and we found out that that was China spying on us. Remember that? Remember we've had like a year ago there was another I don't want to call it a balloon. I guess it was a balloon. Something that went over the Midwest and then ended up exiting via South Carolina, somewhere around there. These people have been spying on us the whole time. The reason they have so much concern about Iceland, not Iceland, but Greenland, is they know China's up there. China is already on the Western Hemisphere. There's nothing you can do about it. There's no deterrence of that. You're too late to the party. Listen, y'all over here playing with China. China is already here in the Western Hemisphere. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, China has missiles that can reach us from China, but they also have missiles here on the Western Hemisphere, closer than we think. You think it's a coincidence that the Chinese government has been buying up real estate all across the Caribbean? All across the Caribbean, China has bought up real estate all across the Caribbean, all over Africa. I'm telling y'all what I know. Y'all playing with President Xi and the Chinese regime, y'all gonna find out. And then what's bad is you're alienating all of your allies. So now when you look for people to help you in this imminent war with China, people gonna look at you like look at us like, oh, you on your own. I don't know what to tell you. Here we are. Here the hell we are. In more sugar spiky news, if you plan on buying an iPhone, I know some of y'all are Apple fanatics and y'all like y'all iPhones. Well, let me read this to you. The White House is insisting that Donald Trump's vision of Apple's flagship iPhones being manufactured in the US will come to fruition despite assertions from analysts and the company, Apple itself, that it would not be possible. Press Secretary Caroline Levitt told reporters during yesterday's press briefing that the president believed that Apple's recently announced $5 billion investment, as well as an increasing import costs sparked by Donald Trump's trade wars and tariffs, would encourage the company to ramp up manufacturing in the U.S. She said, quote, he believes we have the labor, we have the workforce, we have the resources to do it. If Apple didn't think the US could do it, they probably wouldn't put up that big chunk of change. End of quote. Now, Donald Trump himself doubled down on the claim today on Truth Social, posting, quote, this is a great time to move your company into the US like Apple and so many others in record numbers are doing. Zero tariffs and almost immediate electrical energy hookups and approvals, no environmental delays. End of quote. The problem, though, according to experts, including Apple's chief executive, Tim Cook, and his predecessor, the late Steve Jobs, is that the U.S. does not have the workforce or of other nations where the vast majority of the electronics are currently manufactured, such as where? China. which makes about 85% of iPhones. The other 15% being India and Vietnam. They say it puts out of reach a vision presented by Howard Lutnick, Trump's Commerce Secretary, and other tech companies tapping into the trade craft of America to get its products made. Basically, what they're saying is we don't have the infrastructure here. We don't have the workforce here to do this. We don't have the manufacturing warehouses to do this. We don't have any of what we need in order to put this to get this done here. Because even if Apple went and created this big warehouse to create these iPhones, you have to have people to fill the warehouses. You have to have laborers and people to do those jobs. Where are they going to come from? And then it could possibly take years to develop this. Let's keep going. Steve Jobs, before he left the the living plane and went on to be on the ancestral planes, he was adamant way back in 2010 that such a scenario of making iPhones in the US was just not possible, could never happen. Apple even at that time, Apple had 700,000 factory workers employed in China, and that was because it needed 30,000 engineers on site to support those workers. So what you're saying is they would need to have factories that could hold up to 700,000 workers, and then we're talking 30,000 engineers in addition to that. We just don't have that here. And these are individuals that are highly skilled and trained and educated in order to deal with this this type of manufacturing. And we just don't have that here. And we're not going to get it anytime soon. But your president and his press secretary are announcing that they can see us having iPhones made here. Now, guess what? If the iPhones are made in China and China has 104% tariffs, I'm just saying. Moving on. In more scary sugar spiky news, the STD lab at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, a leading player in global efforts to monitor for drug resistance in bacteria that causes these diseases. This lab was among the targets of major staff slashings at the CDC last week. All 28 full-time employees of the lab were fired. All 28 full-time employees of the STD lab at the Centers for Disease Control were fired. So you shut down the whole lab that not only monitors the frequency of STD transmittal, but they also look to do research and monitor whether or not these same bacteria or viruses are resistant to drugs, because every now and again there's a new strain of some of these STDs and STIs and they become drug resistant, and it wreaks havoc through the country. Somebody might want to go over there and talk to y'all girl, Sexy Red, the self proclaimed queen of raw dog, and let her know that they done shut down the STD lab down to the CDC. I don't know what y'all want from me. I just report the news. That's all I do. I don't know what y'all want from me. Mm-mm. Nope. But y'all got Robert F. Kennedy there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Here we are. Moving on. Well, down to the villages in Florida, they had to build their own hospital on site down to the villages in Florida because grandma and grandpa is around here raw dogging it all over the place and spiked up the STD and STI rates over in that area. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. Anyway, so y'all just gonna let APAC run wild, right? Here we are. The American Israel Public Affairs Committee, better known as APAC, is launching a new series of ads that started yesterday, targeting the Senate Democrats who voted in favor of Senator Bernie Sanders' motion last week to withhold military aid to Israel. The six-figure ad buy targets 11 states on television and on social media with senators who backed the measures with which overwhelmingly failed in the Senate. Sanders had previously introduced similar unsuccessful measures to block aid to Israel amid the country's war with Hamas and criticism of its handling of the humanitarian situation in Gaza. The two measures were intended to block a total of $8.8 billion in heavy bombs and other munitions to Israel. Now, along with Bernie Sanders, the senators who voted in favor of the measures were Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois, Senator Mark Heinrich of New Mexico, Senator Mazie Hirono of Hawaii, Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia, Senator Andy Kim of New Jersey, Senator Ben Ray Lujan, of New Mexico, Senator Ed Markey of Massachusetts, Senator Jeff Merkley of Oregon, Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut, Senator Brian Schatz of Hawaii, Senator Tina Smith of Minnesota, Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland, Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, and Senator Peter Welch of Vermont. Those are all of the senators that voted in favor of the measure to not give any more money to Israel. And even though the measure did not pass, AIPAC has an axe to grind because anybody that votes not to fund the genocide becomes the enemy of AIPAC. And now you have AIPAC who is spending millions of dollars to now run ads and campaigns against those senators. Now, you'll recall it was AIPAC who ousted our girl Cori Bush and our boy Jamal Bowman. Here we are. You should also know that they have lined the pockets of Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are paid heavily. I believe I know for Chuck Schumer, I believe AIPAC is their largest is his largest donor for his campaign. But I believe, and somebody may check me on this, I believe AIPAC is also the largest donor for Hakeem Jeffries. If it's not his largest donor, it's his top 3 donor. hmm Now here's my thing. I told you I have no allegiance to any Senate Democrats. Why? Um, I don't think we have cams. I don't think we have. Why don't I have any allegiance to Senate Democrats? Because these are the bastards that voted to confirm some of these people on this cabinet that are running amok down to the Washington, D.C. I will never forgive them for that. Everybody's up for primary. I'm just saying. Moving on. So now y'all are attacking children's television. Now I ain't got no kids, but hey, Katrina Taylor. Katrina Taylor said y'all better hit this good like button. Okay. Um, I don't know who Miss Rachel is. Apparently, Miss Rachel is very popular in the kids' television world. Anybody have kids, nieces, nephews, or whatever, and y'all know who Miss Rachel is? I'm not as familiar with her, but apparently she's huge. Let me see how many people she have on YouTube. Hold on, let me see. Uh Miss Rachel. So Miss Rachel has 14.3 million subscribers on YouTube. Oh yes. She has 14.3 million subscribers on YouTube. Let me see if she has an Instagram. On Instagram, she has 2.6 million subscribers. But yeah, she has 14.6. Wait, how many? Already. Yeah, on YouTube, she has 14.3 million subscribers. So apparently she's very popular. Miss Shorty B says her little 2-year-old nephew loves her. Cymera says her nephew loves her. One of my nephews watches Miss Rachel. Okay, so Miss Rachel is pretty big. Okay, I was told Miss Rachel is, pretty big in the kids' television department. 2-year-old nephew, he hears and is hypnotized. I don't get it. Listen, apparently she has the voice that makes the kids, fall in line. Well, ain't no she won't be spared from this. So a prominent pro-Israel group that doxes people it deems anti-Semitic is calling on Pam Bondi, the U.S. Attorney General, to investigate whether beloved children's entertainer Miss Rachel is operating as a foreign agent after sharing sympathetic content about children suffering in Gaza. In a letter sent on Monday, the group Stop Anti-Semitism formally requested the Department of Justice to determine whether Miss Rachel, whose real name is Rachel Griffin Accurso, is, quote, being remunerated to decimate Hamas aligned propaganda. To disseminate Hamas aligned propaganda to her millions of followers, end of quote, claiming her social media posts about Palestinian children in anguish could constitute undisclosed work for foreign entities. So let me spell that out for you again. The woman put on her social media that Palestinian children were in anguish, and they're now saying that that could constitute as undisclosed work for foreign entities, and they want your sitting attorney general of these yet to be United States of America, Pam Bondi, to investigate her. Here we are. Here we are. So, because she sees the humanity in all children, no matter where they are, she's now a foreign agent, operating as a foreign agent. This is what we got going on. Here's what the director of Stop Anti-Semitism wrote. Her name is Leora Rez. She said in a letter, quote, given the vast sums of foreign funds that have been directed towards propagandizing our young people on college campuses, we suspect there is a similar dynamic in the online influencer space. End of quote. I can't make this shit up. I can't. I cannot make this up. Hey, Lady Libra, what's going on? I feel like I ain't seen you in a minute, Lady Libra. How you been? Here we are. Hey, Melinda J. It does. So now y'all are making it like Miss Rachel is out here working for Hamas directly to put up propaganda, and she's working directly for Hamas. This is what y'all got going on. A mess. So because she believes that there's a problem with you murdering children, because she says that there's an issue with children being murdered in this genocide and ethnic cleansing that y'all got going on over there. Now, Miss Rachel is a foreign agent, is operating as a foreign agent. I'm just trying to make sure I understand. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Moving on. U.S. Citizen and Immigration Services, USCIS, announced today that effective immediately, it will begin reviewing applicants' social media accounts, social media accounts using anti-Semitic content as grounds for denying any immigration benefits. This decision will impact those seeking to gain a green card or a student visa. Quote, there is no room in the United States for the rest of the world's terrorist sympathizers, and we are under no obligation to admit them or let them stay here. End of quote. And that's according to Tricia McLaughlin, the Department of Homeland Security's Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs. She went on to say, quote, Secretary Kristi Noem has made it clear that anyone who thinks you can come to America and hide behind the First Amendment to advocate for anti-Semitic violence and terrorism, think again. You are not welcome here. End of quote. So now, in order to gain a green card or a student visa, they will be able to comb through your social media to make sure that you haven't posted anything that they deem anti-Semitic. Now, we just did a whole story telling you that Miss Rachel saying that there's a problem with children dying in Gaza is seen as anti-Semitic. That's anti-Semitic, saying children shouldn't be killed. So that there's your barometer for what is and is not anti-Semitic. I'm just saying, here we are. Here we are. Hey, Miss Baythang. Hey, Gabby. Moving on. Well, for my pupils up in the great state of New York, you shouldn't be left out. New York City Mayor Eric Adams' administration is now allowing federal immigration officials to operate at Rikers Island to work on gang and drug related criminal investigations in the city's largest lockup. But immigrant rights groups and Adams' critics cast the Tuesday executive order as a concerning quid pro quo after federal prosecutors dropped corruption charges against the Democrat so he could help support the Republican President Donald Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration. Mayor Adams announced plans to allow Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE agents to resume operations at Rikers Island in February after meeting with Trump border czar Tom Homan, though details of the arrangements weren't released until the order that was released yesterday. The Rikers Island jail complex on a hard to reach island in the East River has long suffered from rampant disorder and neglect and faces a possible federal takeover. The order authorizes ICE's Homeland Security Investigations Division, which focuses on transnational crime, to have an office at the jail to work on city corrections office officials to work with city corrections officials on criminal investigations and, quote, related intelligence sharing, end of quote, efforts focused on violent criminals and gangs, crimes committed in jail, and drug trafficking. Now, ICE used to have a presence on Rikers Island to facilitate the transfer of immigrants who were in the U.S. illegally into federal custody for deportation. But New York City's 2014 sanctuary law effectively banned ICE operations in Rikers Island. Now, Mayor Adams' executive order, though, now allows other federal agencies, including the FBI, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, the Drug Enforcement Administration, and the U.S. Postal Inspection Service to have office space at the jail to assist with gang and drug related investigations. City Council Speaker Adrienne Adams said the Rikers decision is among a series of highly troubling recent events since Mayor Adams' criminal charges were dropped. Mayor Adams ain't shit. He's basically been given a green light to do whatever he wants. He's a lame duck ass mayor. He knows it's not an ice cube chance in hell of him getting back into the mayoral seat. He knows he doesn't have an ice cube chance in hell. And he knows that the Trump administration can no longer come after him. So now he can freely do whatever the fuck he wants with reckless abandon. Y'all voted for him. I don't know what y'all want from me. Moving on. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, would be Senator Ron Wyden, Democrat out of the great state of Oregon. Now, let me read this to you, and there's a reason that I'm bringing this to you. Senator Ron Wyden plans to block President Trump's pick to lead the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency until the agency releases a report about telecommunications insecurity. Senator Wyden will place a hold on Sean Planky's nomination to serve as CISA director over what he describes in a statement as the agency's quote multi-year cover-up of the phone company's negligent cybersecurity has real consequences, end of quote. CISA has refused to provide Congress and the public with copies of a 2022 report on U.S. telecommunications insecurity, although Senator Wyden's staff was permitted to read the report in person at the agency's office in 2023. He disputed CISA's claim that the unclassified report is protected by a, quote, deliberative process privilege, arguing that it is a technical document containing factual information about U.S. telecom security, end of quote. Senator Wyden pointed to the China-linked Salt Typhoon hack of major telecommunications firms last year. 9 large telecom companies, including AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, were targeted as a part of a wide-ranging breach, according to the Wall Street Journal. Now, why did I bring this up? I'm not going to get lost into the weeds about telecom companies and this report. You know why I'm bringing this up, y'all? Because this one Democratic senator is essentially going to be able to stop one of Trump's nominees from taking office. And if that can happen on the whims of this one Democratic nominee, then why the fuck haven't y'all been doing something like this for all of these bastards? I just want to know. So if Senator Wyden, who most of y'all don't even know who Senator Wyden is, Senator Wyden don't do nothing. He's basically over there just taking up space at this point. And I hate to be like that. But if Senator Wyden can summarily say, yeah, let me just halt this nomination by himself, where is the willingness of Democratic senators outside of him to do the same thing for several other nominees? I'm just asking. Maybe there's a procedural thing that I'm missing here. I'm just wanting to know. Why is this the first time any Democratic senator has attempted to block a nomination? Tommy Tuberville spent well over a year blocking nominations. Here we are. In more sugar spiky news, the University of Cincinnati has removed its controversial biological bathroom signs just a little over a month after they went up. The University of Cincinnati came under fire in February after plastering signs on some of its restrooms that read, quote, biological men, end of quote, or, quote, biological women, end of quote, supposedly to comply with a new state law. Let me say that again. They posted on bathrooms at the university, in the buildings at the universities, and in the dorm rooms, in the dormitories at the university, that said biological men, biological women. Literally. Ohio's Senate Bill 104 mandated that students at K through 12 schools, colleges, and universities use restrooms and other facilities according to their sex assigned at birth. The bill took effect 90 days after it was signed into law by Republican Governor Mike DeWine in November. The university, which was not required by law to hang the signs, which was not required by law to hang the signs, which was not required by law to hang the signs, erected them 1 week early anyway. The university has since removed the signs after widespread backlash, including a protest attended by hundreds of students. Maintenance staff had to put up the signs, then take down the 117 signs across 4 residential communities on campus, university spokesperson MB Riley said to news outlets, bringing the total cost of labor and materials to $16,000. Now, the university has said in a statement that hanging the signs was an error, was a quote, error, end of quote, though they did not elaborate on how the error was made. A mess. A mess. A mess. You heard the people. Biological men and biological women. If you are intersex, figure out which one. I don't know. I don't know. These people haven't thought that far. And this is a university. I'm not, listen, y'all. Camps is over here trolling me, y'all. Because me and Camps has this inside joke, right? So anytime Camps says NB in the chat, he is trolling me, y'all. I'm telling y'all. I'm not gonna even tell you what NB is. Let's be clear. You think NB stands for non-binary? I'm gonna drop the link. If Cam wants to come up and explain it to you himself, he can. I'm not gonna do it, but if he wants to come up here and explain it himself, he can. Just a bit. Oh, I wish it were just non-binary. I'm gonna let Cams come up and explain it to y'all. While he's coming up, let me get to the next story. That building right there is the Smithsonian Institute on Women's History. That's the Women's History Museum, right? So, um, we're here. We are here. Your president, as you know, through his executive orders, declared that the accomplishments of trans women and trans people and trans women in particular must be removed from the Smithsonian American Women's History Museum because they constitute an quote improper ideology, end of quote. The order condemns a planned exhibit at the museum that would feature trans athletes. Now, Vice President J.D. Vance, alongside members of the presidential cabinet and staff, will lead the way in a sweeping overhaul of museum exhibits, programming, and leadership by blocking funding unless the museum promises it will, quote, not recognize men as women in any respect, end of quote. The language is a thinly veiled directive that remove trans women from the museum entirely. HRC president, and that's Human Rights Campaign President Kelly Robinson, said in a statement that the order was nothing less than fascism at work. This is happening. Now we are now we are having because your president appointed JD Vance on the Smithsonian board. So now JD Vance can effectuate what any of the museums that's under the Smithsonian purview can effectuate anything that they put up and threaten them with federal funding. That's why I told y'all, if you get a chance, go by the African American History Museum as quickly as you can, because I promise you, they're going to gut that place. Moving on. In our last sugar spiky story of the day, let me read this to you. Prosecutors claim that a soccer coach who is accused of killing a California adolescent also sexually molested the boy. Oscar Omar Hernandez, 13, was killed by Mario Edgardo Garcia Aquino, according to the LA County DA's office. Oscar's instructor, Mr. Garcia Aquino, was the last person his family said they saw with him before his death was discovered. In a ditch in Oxnard, California, last week. Mr. Garcia Aquino was first taken into custody by police last week on suspicion of a separate sexual assault. But they said on Monday that they had sufficient evidence to accuse him of Oscar's death. Mr. Garcia Aquino is currently facing 2 charges: assault with intent to commit a felony and lewd act upon a kid aged 14 or 15. The other alleged victim is only identified by authorities as Julian A. The alleged offense took place in December of 2022. I'm not gonna go into the gory details of this because it's a very disturbing story. Now, the problem is, your Trump administration is going to pounce on this. Why? Because Mr. Garcia Aquino is an undocumented immigrant. And so he's now going to become the poster child of all things deportation. Now, Garcia Aquino is accused of killing Oscar Hernandez and dumping his body in that ditch in Oxnard. They found the body last week, Wednesday. Mr. Garcia Aquino is being accused of sexual assault, lewd, and lascivious behavior with Oscar Hernandez. It's a tragedy all around. But I bring this up because they're going to look for cases like this to justify deporting everybody. I'm just telling you. I did not want to put the Mr. Garcia Aquino's picture up there. I just put the picture up. That's Oscar Hernandez, the 13-year-old that they are alleging that he killed. Moving on, as we move out of the sugar spike segment and delve deeper into the dossier. Where's Tracy C? Somebody go find Tracy C and tell Tracy C Zion is well, not necessarily him, but we got more shit going on with Zion. Now, Zion Williamson, y'all know, we know Zion Williamson from being wrapped up with that girl Mariah Mills. And we chronicled that whole situation with Mariah Mills and Zion Williamson last year and year before last. Well, we're here again with this love triangle, okay? New Orleans Pelicans power forward Zion Williamson is now at the center of a messy off-court saga that has fans buzzing and headlines screaming. Reports surfaced this morning detailing a shocking incident involving Akima Love, the mother of Zion's child, who has been accused of stalking and attacking another woman romantically linked to the basketball star. According to reports from news outlets, Akima Love, age 31, you see her on the right, she was arrested in Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, on charges of stalking and aggravated battery. The alleged victim, a 33-year-old woman whose sources say was also involved with Zion Williamson. The drama reportedly unfolded inside Williamson's home, where Love is accused of confronting her romantic rival with vengeance. The details are as chaotic as they are unsettling. Miss Love allegedly assaulted the woman by striking her with a set of keys, tearing off acrylic nails in the process, and issuing a chilling threat, quote, "Count your days. It's going to be your head next when I drop this baby," end of quote. Authorities say Miss Love took her rage outside, egging the woman's house in a bizarre act of retaliation. The Kenner Police Department has released a mugshot that you see there um, of Miss Love. The victim was left with cuts to her eyes, a lump on the side of her head, and had 4 of her fingernails torn off. Once Miss Love went inside the home, authorities say she grabbed the victim's hair and hit her, like I said, with the keys clenched in her fist. So y'all know how people do. They take the keys and they put the keys through their, fingers and their knuckles, and she would that situation. Miss Love is facing 3 counts of home invasion, aggravated battery, and stalking, and her bond was set at $50,000. She was also ordered to stay away, from the victim and give up the gun that she owned. Miss Love has no prior record of violence, her attorney said during the hearing yesterday. I don't know can y'all explain to me what this is? I just don't see it for Zion like that. What does Zion? I mean, Zion better have dick of death and cock of doom. Okay, like, does he have the devil dick? Does he have the golden dick that got all of these women dickmatized? Cause they out here fighting and carrying on and all kinds of shit. I just don't see it. I, baby, I don't know. Um, look at Xavier. Look at Xavier. Look at Xavier. This is why we can't have nice things. This is exactly why we can't have nice things. I guess it is the money. Remember, Mariah Mills said he was paying her $100,000. Was it a week? I think it was $100,000 a week. Mariah Mills said she was getting paid by him. Was it a week or a month? I thought she claimed it was a week. I don't know. Y'all know these girls be lying. But I just don't see it. I don't know what's going on. Maybe y'all need to explain it to me. Now, and I don't even think his contract is that much. Oh, he does have a big contract. Right now, he has a 5-year, $197,230,450 contract. So he has a base, essentially almost a $200 million contract with the Orlando Pelicans over the next 5 years. That he signed that contract in July of 2022. That will last until July of 2027. All of the $197,230,450 is guaranteed. He has an average annual salary of $39,446,090. Now, get it while it's hot, because please be clear, he won't get. I doubt he gets a contract extension, and if he does, because he's never playing, he's always hurt. He hasn't done anything since he entered the NBA. Girl, you lying, Xavier. Hold on, Xavier. Zion, we love you down. Now, but we got to go, we got to go to our other frequent flyer around these parts. Tyreek Hill. You know, Zion is a staple around here, but Tyreek Hill is another one. So, okay, here's the deal. So, according to Channel 10 down in the Miami, I know Channel 10, that's ABC Channel 10. Miami Dolphins. Let me take Zion down real fast so we can get this breaking news. Okay, breaking news. Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill was involved in a domestic dispute with his wife at his high-rise condominium in Sunny Isles Beach uh, on Monday, according to an incident report obtained by Channel 10. That's ABC News. Officers with Sunny Isles Beach Police Department responded just before 2 p.m. to the 1800 block of Collins Avenue following a report of an assault in progress. When they arrived, police said they spoke with Hill, his wife Keita Hill, and her mother Alicia Vaccaro. Vaccaro told officers she had been living with the couple since last November, shortly after the birth of her granddaughter. She described Tyreek Hill, 31, as, quote, very aggressive and impulsive, end of quote. And she said she feared for her daughter's safety, according to police reports. Authorities said Ms. Vaccaro called police after claiming that she witnessed Tyreek Hill throw a laptop on the floor. Exclusive video obtained by Channel 10 shows Tyreek Hill holding his 5-month-old daughter while walking on the 35th floor balcony of his residence, then looking over the edge following an argument with his wife. Keita Hill, the wife, told police that she and Tyreek have been arguing more frequently and stated that whenever she gives her opinion on anything they discuss, quote, he becomes angry and throws objects around, end of quote. That must be why he threw the laptop. She said the two had been attending couples therapy, but it was, quote, not working out, end of quote. During the most recent argument, police said she told Tyreek Hill that he wasn't involved enough with their child. She then told said that Tyreek became irritated and without malice grabbed the baby and began walking with her. She also stated that she is, quote, in the process of filing for a divorce, end of quote. Authorities said Tyreek told officers he had just returned from training and was discussing therapy with his wife when the argument escalated. Police said he admitted to grabbing the baby, saying, quote, I have the same rights as a father as as a mother, and I can take my baby whenever I want, end of quote. Although both Tyreek Hill and his wife stated the argument never turned physical, officers said they observed a bruise on Keita Hill's upper chest. She told them it may have happened unintentionally when Tyreek took the baby from her, according to the report. Officers noted the child appeared to be in good health. Keita Hill declined to provide a written statement to police. They said Tyreek Hill left the condo around 2:40 p.m. In the presence of officers, and no arrests were made. Police issued a case card to Miss Keith Hill, who they said remained at the residence with her mom and child. Now, this all happened Monday. Now, backstory for those of you all who haven't been here, chronicling all of this. Y'all know he got he got a whole bunch of kids. Matter of fact, he when she was pregnant with her baby, his wife was pregnant with her baby, and they were engaged. He had he has 3 children, all born within a month of each other, meaning he conceived all of these kids around the same time while he was currently engaged to Miss Keita Hill. And Miss Keita Hill learned of all of this, still chose to stay with him because she was trying to secure the bag, and she secured the bag by getting her a child and getting married. Now, I don't know if there was a prenup involved, but now here we are. So now, according to the TMZ, Tyreek Hill's wife Keita Hill has filed for a divorce from Tyreek Hill one day after cops were called over a domestic dispute at their Miami area home. I just read you that situation. Listen. Now you filing for divorce. You should have never married that man. You should have never married. Now, if you remember, they got married back in November of 2023, and we chronicled him and all of his extramarital, his dipping his spoon into sugar bowls all over South Florida at that time. He ain't shit. We've been chronicling him and his ain't shitness for a long time. Ma'am, I don't know why you married him. I don't know how bad I could feel for her because, ma'am, I don't know why you married him. You married him knowing he was cheating on you left, right, and sideways. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Hey, Angela. Hey, anyway, let me get back to the dossier. Just had to break some news there. Child. I don't know how much of that I believe, though, Melinda. A lot of these chicks be claiming they ain't got no prenup, and then come to find out they do. See Ashley Darby. They be trying to flex for the cameras. Anyway, in another update, we got a lot of stories with athletes today. In another update of another athlete and his situation, so Xavier Worthy and his girl and his ex fiance Tia Jones, they have dropped all of their legal cases against each other. They dropped all of their legal cases against each other. I just hope they stay away from each other. Now we chronicled these two and their antics. She's snatching his dreads out his head and all kinds of stuff. Child, she claiming that he choke slammed her, and it was a lot. He was arrested. They let him go. She got the restraining order. It was just, we chronicled all of this. Go back and look at the old videos. Well, both of them have dropped their legal cases against each other. Y'all think he back to blowing her back out again? That's why he dropped the case. That's why she dropping the case. Y'all think he back to blowing her back out? Child. Mess. Moving on. I told y'all we had a lot of stories with athletes. So another update on another athlete. So Anthony Edwards has agreed to give full custody of their 5-month-old daughter that he has with Aisha Howard. he agreed to give Aisha Howard full custody of the child. Was there ever any doubt? So Aisha Howard will have sole legal and physical custody of said child. Nobody's surprised. Remember, the man said he wanted to pay one lump sum for the total that he was going to owe for 18 years of life support, just so, not life support, God, child support, just so he didn't have to deal with this woman or that baby. So I know he wants no parts of that child or that baby. And if I'm you, Aisha, keep your child away from him. I keep my child away from him. I'm just being honest. I would keep my child away from him, not let my child see him at all, because he is way out of order. Way out of order. Way out of the man said, I want to pay one lump sum, and and I ain't gotta deal with them no more. I may need to bring back an old segment. We used to have a segment back in 2019 and 2020. I used to have a show called Under the Bleachers, and I would do like a once a week a video on athlete news. We may have to bring back Under the Bleachers because we got a lot of sports news that's been going on, and we chronicle a lot of these athletes and what they have going on. So y'all let me know if we need to bring back Under the Bleachers so we can chronicle these things. In more, not sugar spiky news, but deeper into the dossier, that's Lauren LaRosa, one of the co-hosts down there to the Breakfast Club, the one who just the mess was windmill in the air about. Well, apparently, her ex boyfriend is in the news. Okay, so during a recent sit down with Carlos King, Lauren LaRosa talked about her breakup after her 11-year relationship with her ex. She revealed that he cheated on her, and he even had a baby outside of their relationship. But she still didn't break up with him, even though he cheated on her and had a baby outside of the relationship. She says she simply, quote, outgrew the situation, end of quote. She went on to say, quote, I just woke up one day and I was just like, this doesn't really motivate me and inspire me. This is not where I need to be, end of quote. So let me get this straight. He was cheating on you left, right, and sideways. He had a baby outside of the relationship. And none of that was good enough to make you leave. But then all of a sudden you woke up. I surmise that it was something else. Maybe you broke up with him once those checks started clearing down to the Breakfast Club, and you start to see, I got my own money. I don't need. I think that's what happened. Them checks started to clear down to the Breakfast Club, and she realized she need his money no more, and she need him as a tag along no more, and she went on. Cause you stayed with him 11 years and he was cheating on you, had a whole baby during the time. Oh, girl. Oh, girl. I'm just saying. Let me know if y'all would have stayed all that time. Me personally, I wouldn't have stayed. Nope. I wouldn't have and couldn't have. But she said, I don't know. Would y'all have stayed? I just can't do it, honey. That dick better be good as hell. And even if it is, you can find good dick everywhere, okay? It wasn't the dick that made her stay. She might have felt like she have no other options. And it may not have even been that. It may have been she was just focused on her career and it was just convenient at the time. And she just stayed because it was comfortable and convenient. And he was still supplying her with steady dick. But baby, listen, mama, I think mama got that check from the Breakfast Club, and that them first couple checks cleared. And she said, all right, I'm done. And that's enough. Bap says she wouldn't have stayed 11 minutes after you cheated on her and had a side baby. Pinky Tiki say you way too mature for her. She'll have that level of maturity. Just saying. Ciao. Anyway, in our last story of the day, the human Skeletor Soulja Boy finds himself in the dossier. And thank God this time it's not for him pulling out his meat, showing it all over Al Gore's good internet again. So the woman accusing him of alleged sexual abuse and assault is now seeking $73.6 million in damages with her lawsuit against him. I don't think that young man got that much money. Hold on. I promise you, if Soulja Boy got that much money, I there's no way I can believe that. Hold on. So according to the Googles, reports from 2023 indicate that a judge deemed his net worth to be negative due to his lack of financial records and a $1 million tax lien, though he is believed to be capable of generating income. According to the Googles, his current booking fees is between $40,000 and $75,000. Now, when he lost that previous court case with that other woman, he was ordered to pay $472,000 in that judgment, and he still ain't paid that. They said that at the height of his popularity, his net worth was $35 million. They said it's possible that he could be worth $3 million, maybe. The point that I'm making is, even in the height of his career, he never had $73.6 million to pay. Where the fuck he gonna get $73 million? I mean, maybe he need to go do all Soulja Boy, just go do some OnlyFans or something. I don't know what to tell you, because we're not listening to your music. You don't have a rap career. Nobody's going to go see you in a show, okay? Nobody's down here saying, oh yeah, let me go get these Soulja Boy concert tickets. Ain't nobody checking for you. Nobody wants to hear no Soulja Boy off in this hole. Watch me crank it. Watch me roll. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's here for that. Nobody. Now you got a slab of beef on you. Your best bet is to do OnlyFans. Please put one of the masks on your face though, because you're not easy on the eyes. So just be one of the little masked OnlyFans people and make you some money. Maybe, I don't know. That's about all I can tell you, sir. That's about all I can tell you. You're gonna need some money if this woman gets this adjudication. But who are her lawyers, and why are they asking for $73.6 million from this man? Who's advising her lawyers that they should ask for $73.6 million from Soulja Boy? From Soulja Boy. Ma'am, in the span of his lifetime, you won't get $73.6 million. I'm just telling you. In the entire span of his lifetime, for the rest of his existence, if you add up all the money together, you won't get $73.6 million from him. I'm just telling you what I know. Yeah, Cassandra, he gonna need the mask on. He gonna need to be one of them OnlyFans stars with the mask. Listen, hold on. I got one. I got a mask over here. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Let me show y'all what Soulja Boy should do. Hold on. Hold on. That's what he should do. That's Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy. This is how he should do his OnlyFans, okay? With a mask. That's how he should do his OnlyFans. The Crank That era was not a time. It was not. It was not. It was not a time. Child, Xavier, he posts his dick all over the internet all the time now. So, yeah, just go masked like this, sir. I'm just saying. You said it looks like a hijab. This is the mask that I wear when it get cold out, real cold outside. Like when it get to like the 20s outside, I'll put this on because that wind be hitting my face. So I'll put this on when I go outside and I'll tighten up the little things or whatever. And it keeps me warm. That's what we talking about, Sharice. The lady that's accusing him of sexual assault says she wants $73.6 million. And I'm telling you, she won't get $73.6 million in the entirety of his life put together. No, I did not used to Superman that hoe. Did not. I thought it was the dumbest song alive. I never Superman that hoe. I really thought it was the dumbest song alive. Child, his dick still all over the place, Cassandra. He damn near posts a dick pic once a week at this point. Child. Anyway, we about to get up off here. Xavier said I look like I got on a hijab. Anyway, we about to get up off here. That's the dossier for today. That is the dossier for today. Listen, y'all. We about to get out of here. I'm going out like Soulja Boy. Going out like Soulja Boy. Okay. I'm about to get out of here. As I always say, I love y'all. I love all y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged and much appreciated. If you want to donate to the platform, you can do so here. You can click on that QR code and it'll take you where you need to go, or it's scrolling at the bottom. Other than that, I'm about to get off here. I will be back tomorrow. We will be back tomorrow. We'll have a teacher project tomorrow, as well as Run Your Mouth tomorrow. So we'll do all of that tomorrow. That's all I got for y'all. I am hungry. I am tired. Thank y'all for getting me through it today. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.